Hello, everybody. Dave Neal here, stand-up comic host of Bachelor Nation News. We have the mobile studio here in Newport, Rhode Island. That's right, your boy brought his fantastic audio equipment here to discuss with you guys the news of Bachelor Nation. And we have a lot to discuss, to be honest. I know it's almost approaching barrel scraping season, but so many storylines. We are still, we're basically, to use a sort of metaphor for the holiday season. We're still untangling the Christmas lights from last year's season, that being Bachelor in Paradise. But one piece of Bachelor in Paradise that didn't end in total destruction, looking at you, Johnny DiFilippo, Victoria Fuller, Greg Grippo, looking at you, Aaron Clancy and Genevieve, looking at you, Logan Shanae, everybody. The only thing that did well is Jesse Palmer got to cash his paychecks, and we got a free engagement ring for Serene. Now, what are we going to call them? Brandon and Serene. I was thinking Brace. B-R-A-S-E. Brace, right? Or B-S. Either way, the only B-S that we didn't have on the season was that they actually look like they found in love, and a beautiful family at that. The babies will be so gorgeous. Just nothing but beautiful skin and nice eyebrows, right? A smile that could capture the world, and capture it they did. So Brandon said to Serene, if you don't pick... Brandon said to his buddy as he was watching Bachelor, if you don't pick her, let me know. Which, of course, sounds very much like cattle-driven. Like, if you don't, but I understand, like, hey, if you, in a show where you get to choose between one of 30 women, if you do not choose this said woman, I would like to partake in a date with her. You know, I don't know why I started to sound like an old gentleman. If ye does, okay. We're warming up today. All right, so let's get into it. Here's the first of several videos I'm going to play for you guys that shows a little bit of their beautiful love story. Let's have a listen. Let's get this going.
Plans? Are y'all living together now? Y'all like have career choices been made for the new city? Tell us about all that.
Yeah, welcome to our new apartment.
Okay.
There we
So
go. Y'all are
go.
moved in together?
We're moved in. This is our apartment.
I have to know, did y'all pick new furniture or did y'all like merge furniture?
So we just had my couch, but everything else we've been picking together to make.
I love it. You know, whenever you start to live with someone, they're like, oh, how about, that futon you've been sleeping on for 15 years with all those love stains? Let's buy a new couch. It's like, okay.
Road trip from Oklahoma, Texas, all the way to San Diego, California. So nice. It was, we had a nice little trip. It was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun. And it was long as hell.
They say if you can't go on a road trip with your person, travel with your person, they ain't the right person. So y'all still here today.
It tested us, but we made it through.
Did y'all?
To me, a road trip is just about negotiating bathroom times. You know what I mean? She's like, I have to pee. It's like, can you wait 32 more exits? No, I really have to pee. How about 25 exits? We have 22. We're going to go in 20 exits. And it's always like, because, hey, look, if we stop every time my wife wants to stop on a road trip, we're just never going to get there. You know what I mean? It's like, do you need to pee or are you looking for beef jerky in the gas station? You know what I mean? There's nothing better than learning about your partner through gas station food. Now, I'm not above it. I am not above a gas station hot dog. Fight me on this one. Fight me on it. I'll be honest with you. Shock you guys a little bit right now. I'll be the first to tell you this. I've had a gas station fillet of fish before, and it wasn't that bad.
Is there footage of any karaoke that you guys sang along the way at all? Yeah. Okay. Because that's like the the rite of passage. Like you go take a road trip with your new woman, and it's like you got to do karaoke.
There's this really chaotic video. One of my cats kept escaping, and she had never been out in a car before. And there's this video of him driving, and he's just over it, and the cat's just sitting right behind him.
And we're just saying, it's like, we're
like, all right, this is our reality for the next day.
So it's been.
I love that.
Do me a favor, try to watch this video without smiling.
It's been great. But yeah, we're in San Diego. We're making new career changes. It's been a little tough because
keeping everything a
secret and everything.
I can only imagine. So many Bachelor alum out there in San Diego as well. So Serene, are you still a teacher?
So I left teaching before Paradise because I have a degree in journalism and media. And so I've been wanting to kind of venture back into my
some teachers explain to me how you can teach without a degree in teaching, which I'm totally think is fine. I think we have a shortage of teachers. I'm gladly let a journalist be a teacher here. But, talk about needing to find your sources. You're writing an essay and, you're trying to, how many times have we made up the bibliography? Oh, yeah, I got this from Merriam-Webster. It's like, or did you just copy and paste a, blog you found?
Degree field.
Don't do that.
And so I've been waiting to do that, but I obviously couldn't job search without spoiling moving to the same city as
For sure. That's definitely.
What would be your
Makes
dream
sense.
job? Like, what would be your ideal gig?
mine.
Yeah.
Honestly, like I would love to do
Make money by shilling products on Instagram. It looks like it's easy and fun. Yeah, get your bag, girl.
any kind of hosting. Like I love to talk. I love to like tell stories, whether that's like news and like retelling stuff or
Oh, she's coming for Brian's lady's job there.
just like drawing like the eye to a piece of information or something, you know, teaching someone about something. So it's very broad for
Why isn't Serene? I mean, honestly, could you imagine her as an investigative journalist for Bachelor Nation? It's like, I'm Serene Russell reporting from the barrel of the screen, you know.
me. I have no idea.
No, I think that you said it right. You put it out in the universe, it'll come back to you.
That's
Like
true.
production, I think.
I've been putting out to the universe that they get better audio, and it hasn't happened. To be quite honest, they've been maybe the part of me telling them to quit their podcast has come true. This was their last episode. They're just quitting their podcast. And I'll have to say this. I wonder how many people will follow them that like I wonder what the numbers were for this podcast. I think they do a really good job. I think it's one of the better podcasts as far as like their ability to let the guests talk, ask good questions, they sound good. I really like talking about podcasts. I just think the fact that it was run through Bachelor Nation took the soul away from it all. And if they actually had equity in it, they'd probably do a better job trying to get better guests, trying to promote it more. But when you don't have equity, and by equity I mean when you don't have ownership stake in the podcast, you take the paycheck, you F around, you find out.
What about you, Brandon?
Oh no.
Well, I don't think we heard that. What'd you say?
Oh, I was like, she gonna be a producer.
No.
Oh, no.
Cameras.
I think it's like against the law to fall in love on a show and then become a producer. That's just law. I think every contestant ever would say that.
Yeah.
You can't go from one to the other.
School again. I got my degree already, but I'm going back to school to become a barber.
Okay.
And then I'm doing media training as well. So I'm gonna do a little bit of both.
Okay, so hey, come on now, we take our haircut serious.
When you're in LA, man, I might need a little
I'm
fade.
like, yo, I'm gonna come check you out.
That's what I'm saying. Hey,
I'm gonna check you out, homie. If it's messed up, I'm letting them know on IG.
This is what's so smart. This is like when Pauly D, from Jersey Shore, got his DJ career off the ground. And also like when Blake Horseman got his DJ career off the ground. A tangible service that you can do when your fame is done with your career. He'll have a line out the door, people trying to get a haircut from him. He can probably charge a couple extra bucks, stay busy. He can probably travel, do pop-up shops. Imagine if he's like, I'm going to be in Nashville. Who wants their haircut? He puts a little slotted line up together. Boom, 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 boom. I mean, we saw Claire Crowley, obviously, if you're doing, not to be sexist, but I think we all know if you're doing women's haircuts, they charge more money. Men's haircuts are so much cheaper. It's like boop, boop, boop. Honestly, this is the thing. If men had actual access to therapy, the barbershop business wouldn't be as popular. But because we have a hard time talking to other men, we get into the barbershop and it's like, hey, how you doing today? Well, my dad's been causing me a lot of grief. It's like the only time we get to talk to each other. Brandon would be great at that.
I'm messing with you.
Hey, let me know in person.
I'm messing with you, man.
All right, so fun stuff. Like I said, I really like their ability to get warmth out of their guests. I think they do a fantastic job. We'll have to see what they do moving forward. But like I said, another one bites the dust. And one more quick clip that I wanted to share. I have all these clips from their podcast interviews that we haven't gotten to. But here's one more quick clip of how Brandon found the eye of Serene. And I don't want to say called dibs on her because that doesn't exist. You don't call dibs on people consensually. But if you're with your buddies and you're like, hey, I think I like her, the buddies might clear the way for you to approach her and see if she likes him back.
The love at first sight. Tell us about that. Can we go back to that moment right there? Was that real? Did y'all talk to each other prior? Was there any maybe I shouldn't be with this person so quickly? Tell me about that moment.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was like, I was up on Instagram early watching my boy Season. And I was like, hey, yo, I was texting Clayton. I was like, hey, yo, if you don't pick her, let me know.
Facts.
Yeah, and so just from there, I was like, I'm going to be a good boy. We're going to be good. I'm not going to reach out or anything. And then the only thing we had was Genevieve FaceTimed me and was like, hey, there's someone I want you to meet. And it was her. I was like, oh, well, hey, if you're on the beach, let me know.
There you go, boy. Talk that talk.
And,
Shooters shoot.
so I was
Shoot or shoot, folks. So a nice example, and I actually believe this story where he's like, look, I know I'm going to go on the beach. I know I'm going to see her. So let's just pause on it. I'll tell the producers. Like, he must have known. I mean, he was a finalist on Michelle Young's season, right? He proposed. He got his heart broken, ripped out of his, did he actually get to the proposal or did she dump him first? Either way, it was a sweaty and sad mess. But she was also a how far down the, I mean, she was a top contender, to say the least, on Matt James' season, right? So, of course, when they mentioned to the producers, when he's like, oh, yeah, I actually think she's cute. And if she's like, oh, yeah, I think Brandon's cute, the producers are like, oh, boy, get him in, bring him in. And then the producers literally just want, they're like, all right, bring in all the sexy people. Brandon and Serene first. Get him in, you know what I mean? So, okay.
I was like, yo, I was talking to my producer. I was like, yo, as soon as I hit the beach, I'm going right to her. He's like, bet.
And then tell him what happened.
And then he kept me there for like.
I was there first. And when he said that, they're like, no, he's not going yet.
Yeah, you're not going yet.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Man.
Producers work harder than anybody else, so that makes sense.
All right, so we'll just end it there. You can go watch the full video, their final podcast. Congrats to Brandon and Serene, and congrats to Talking It Out for making it, I don't know what, a whole year? How long did it go? Either way, we'll have to see if any other alumni will fill into their shoes, but I'll have to tell you, Brian and Mike Johnson, they have the best voices, I believe, in Bachelor Nation as far as quality of their podcast goes. I think if they actually were able to kind of do it in person and have some guests and have better audio video quality. Look, like I've said before, and again, I know I'm jabbering, I know I'm just beating a dead horse right now, but if Bachelor Nation, if the producers put together a nice podcast studio in LA, New York, and maybe somewhere in the Midwest, I think they could get so many guests to come out, and if they're getting a lot of views by being on the podcast, then then people are gonna be more excited to spill their story, because it's almost like it could keep the audience engaged in a much more visual way. They don't do that; they just do this pandemic era Zoom BS. But that's why channels like mine do better, to be quite honest, because we can actually tell you how it is. All right, folks, I've been telling you how it is. Patreon.com/Dave Neal for behind-the-scenes bonus content. I'll be on Bachelor Rush Hour, the afternoon drive podcast. We'll see you then. And and my third video today is going to be a good one, so stay tuned. Make sure to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and we'll be back with that video. Bye, guys.